Hello, everyone, welcome back to the Frontline Report channel. Please subscribe and like my videos. It all began in the dead of night. Ordinary Muscovites were jolted awake by a series of thunderous explosions overhead. A swarm of drones, launched from Ukrainian territory, had penetrated deep into Russian airspace, bringing with them fire, destruction, and shock, transforming parts of Moscow into a blazing war zone. In the aftermath, debris fell like deadly rain, buildings ignited, air raid sirens wailed, and the Kremlin was caught off guard. Tonight, we break down how this audacious strike unfolded, how Moscow responded, and what it means for the balance of power. Exteriors: the streets outside Moscow's city center looked like a battlefield. Flames erupted from residential blocks, smoke billowed into the night sky, and emergency lighting cast an eerie orange glow over shattered windows. Fire trucks and ambulances raced through charred avenues, their sirens echoing across the city. The skyline was marred by holes in rooftops and scorched facades. In some districts, drones crashed into power substations, sparking secondary fires that illuminated neighborhoods in flickering reds and blacks. The scale of damage was remarkable. Block after block bore marks of blast impact, windows blown out, walls pockmarked by shrapnel, and streets strewn with twisted metal and smoke. The shockwave reached far. Cars were overturned, street lamps bent, debris scattered, and asphalt cracked. In public squares, crowds watched in horror, some fleeing, others capturing the scene on their phones, the glow of burning buildings reflected in their eyes. Interior brief: inside the damaged apartments and offices, ceilings collapsed, furniture was scorched, glass shards littered the floor, and alarm systems blared. People huddled in basements or under door frames, their hearts pounding. Hallways were dark, emergency lights flickered, and smoke made breathing difficult. Residents described the moment of impact as a sudden shock. Windows shattered, walls rattled, dust and debris filled rooms, and then silence followed amid the agonizing realization of what had happened. Performance/military impact: the drone strike demonstrated bold reach, precision, and technological capability. Ukraine deployed a mixed fleet of reconnaissance drones and armed UAV, likely backed by electronic warfare systems to jam air defenses or confuse radar. The drones managed to evade many Russian surface-to-air systems, exploiting gaps in coverage or employing stealth tactics. Some drones struck power lines, substations, and fuel depots, producing secondary explosions and cascading failure in local utilities. Others impacted residential and administrative structures, demonstrating a capacity to deliver payloads deep inside what was presumed safe territory. Moscow claimed to intercept many of the drones, perhaps dozens, but the fact that several penetrated so far suggests limitations in Russia's layered air defense. The operation's logistics: launch points, coordination, command and control point to a well-planned, highly synchronized campaign, likely months in the making. The psychological message was just as important: that even the heart of Russia is vulnerable, that deterrence is no longer absolute, and that war can reach into previously safe zones. Safety features/defensive measures: in reaction, Moscow scrambled air defense units, activating S-400 and mobile ASIM batteries, deploying short-range point defense systems like Pantsir, and mobilizing anti-drone units with radar and jamming systems. Russian forces also activated countermeasures, directed energy jamming, decoy drones, radar spoofing, and reinforcing no-fly zones. Emergency services mobilized civil defense protocols, evacuations, shelter-in-place orders, blackout zones, and coordination with hospitals. Street-level defense teams sealed off dangerous zones, deployed firefighting units, and coordinated damage control. Surveillance networks, including drones, radar stations, and overflights, were used to detect further incursions. But the strike exposed vulnerabilities: gaps in radar coverage, delayed response times, and inability to intercept every threat. Unique selling points: what made this strike notable: this was not merely another drone attack. It carried symbolic power. First, its audacity attacking Moscow itself broke psychological boundaries. Second, the precision, targeting critical infrastructure within the capital, not just border regions. Third, the technical complexity, evading multiple defense layers, likely employing deception or stealth, coordination across multiple pathways. Fourth, the timing striking at night, when defenses may be more relaxed, and during political moments to maximize shock. Fifth, the messaging. This was designed to send a statement to Putin, Russian leadership, and the world that Ukraine can bring war into Russia's core territory. Sixth, the morale impact. Moscow's residents, often insulated from frontline horrors, suddenly found themselves under threat at home. And seventh, the deterrent ripple. Other capitals must take note: no city is completely secure from modern drone warfare. Price/cost and consequences. In military terms, cost is measured in equipment used, losses sustained, and strategic fallout. Ukraine sacrificed drones, command assets, and risked intelligence exposure. Some drones were lost or shot down, some electronic gear may have been compromised if intercepted. But for Ukraine, the strategic return may outweigh the cost. For Russia, the damage includes repair costs, disrupted services, public fear, and political embarrassment. Infrastructure damage is expensive: rebuilding power systems, compensating homeowners, restoring communications. Politically, the blow is costly. Putin's image of invulnerability is dented, internal security confidence shaken. Internationally, Russia faces scrutiny. Can it defend its own capital? Does it need to divert more defense resources inward? Will other adversaries test its defenses? The cost is more reputational and morale-driven than simple monetary, yet in a war context, those intangible costs weigh heavily. Conclusion: this drone strike will be remembered not only for the fire and destruction it left in Moscow's streets, but for its symbolic power. It shattered illusions of distance, it forced Russian leadership to reckon with vulnerability at home, and it showed how modern drone warfare can shift balance. For Ukraine, it's a risky but bold move, a signal that the fight can be carried into the enemy's heart. For Russia, it's a warning: no defense is perfect, and no city is beyond reach. The war's lines may not remain static, the battlefield may expand. In the days ahead, expect intensified defenses, reprisals, and further escalation. But this moment, drones raining fire in Moscow, will resonate far beyond the smoldering streets. Thank you for watching. If you found this breakdown useful, hit that like button, subscribe to Frontline Report, and share the video. Stay alert, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next coverage.